One of the advantages of using Photoshop is that you can customize the workspace in order to suit your own particular needs. Well, first let's take a look at how we can change the way the workspace is set up, and then let's take a look at how we can customize things. Well, for starters, you'll notice that I'm viewing this in the Essentials workspace. If I want to view some of the other options, well, I can hover over these two lines and click and drag, and here you can see there are some other default workspaces. I can select one by simply clicking on its name. Well, let's say that I really like this photography workspace. What I can do is click and drag this button to the first position here so that I will always see that first. Now, if I want to close this and only view one option, I can either click and drag to the left or the right, or I can double click these two lines and it will auto collapse that so I can only view one workspace. Well, let's say then that we want to go back to Essentials. How do we do it? Well, it's actually really easy. Click on the double arrow icon and then we can make our selection of whatever workspace we're interested in using. We can access that same information by navigating to the window pull-down menu and then by choosing Workspace, and here by making a selection. One of the things that's really fascinating about these workspaces is that they have built-in memory. And let me show you what I mean. Let's say that I want to go back to Essentials and that I really like Essentials, except I don't really like these tabs here. What I can do is click on this far right icon and then close the entire tab group because I'm realistically never going to use those panels. Okay, well, this makes a little bit more sense to me. What's going to happen is that Photoshop's going to remember the position and which panels you have visible for this particular workspace. All right, well, let's expand this. Just to highlight, we are in Essentials right now. It's going to save this as is. So if I go to Photography, I can see some options there. When I go back to Essentials, it goes back to however I left it. That built-in memory is really helpful because it prevents me from needing to create custom workspaces. In other words, custom workspaces are created by default on the fly. But yet, let's say that accidentally, we all of a sudden click on this icon and we close one of our panels and we say, oh no, I really want to set everything back to normal. How can I do that? Well, all that you need to do is to target the workspace that you're in. Click on the double arrow icon and then here, select Reset, in this case Reset Essentials. It will bring it back to the default settings. All right, well, what about customizing this even further? Let's say that we would like to have an Essentials workspace and then maybe a modified Essentials workspace. What can we do? Well, one of the things that we can do is navigate to our window pull-down menu, Workspace, and then choose New Workspace. Here, I'll go ahead and type out CO Essentials. This will then save this out. I'll click Save, and it will put it in position number 1. Now, in this case, I'll click on that same icon, close all those panels. So here's a little bit of a trimmed down version of the Essentials layout or workspace. Move this button over so these are side by side here so that we can compare the two. Here is Essentials. It remembers how that was set. And now, here is my new workspace, which can be really helpful based on the task at hand. So one of the things that you'll discover is that as you work more and more in Photoshop, certain menus or panels or the way that they're set up will really work well for you or will really work well for certain tasks. For example, I have a workspace which is dedicated just to retouching, and because I only need a specific tools there, or I have a workspace for color correction or for general image processing and editing. And you can create these different workspaces and select them quite easily in order to customize Photoshop so that it works best for whatever task is at hand.